y'all had joint accounts, and that issue with the house still popped up. Would you have divorced him over that?
Well, that's not the reason why I divorced him, but that's the reason why we started growing apart. So,
That's all I'm saying. When I'm
yeah.
telling you, there's a number of things. She's only giving us bits and pieces, the significant
Yeah,
part.
it's
But if
that's
you
why I
look at
say
the
like the
collective,
relationship is
if you look
really
at everything
complicated.
collectively, you do see that a man wasn't a man of his word.
No, I'm telling you that the collective part
Trev,
was that
Travis,
he.
you need to be right with the gentleman,
I'm
man.
telling you that the collective part was the fact that he did not want to be in. She wanted to have a joint mind on things, and then the problem with her was
So many
that
comments, but y'all want us to follow
when
y'all.
she, when she did her thing, he had an issue with it, and she said that was the catalyst for things to go downhill. They didn't have joint accounts the whole entire time of the marriage. But when she ran into that point where he decided that he had something to say about the choice that she made after he was hands off, that was the downfall.
Listen, again, Sweeney, I wasn't talking about the
Oh
main downfall
shit!
that
Y'all gonna
caused
keep it
the
going?
main
Don't worry
God
about it.
damn
Don't
it!
worry
catalyst.
about it. Don't
What
worry
the
about it. Don't worry
fuck?
about it.
I'm not worried
Hey
about it.
yo,
I wasn't talking about the catalyst that caused the marriage to fail.
Yeah, he was just making
I
a point
I tend to
about
focus on all of the things that can impact it, and
yeah.
then you gotta Kamehameha blow that really destroy everything.
But no,
But you
I'm
gotta
Now I'm
trying.
gonna tell
understand when
But
you
I'm
you.
get
trying.
into marriage, you begin to tolerate a lot of shit, and
I
then
don't know. What I'm
Now,
trying to
oh,
tell
and
you
things
is that you're
bottle
saying that
up.
she was manipulated. There was no manipulation. He was who he was. She was who she was. They
But
both
that's
discovered.
I get it. We can agree to disagree. Let's just agree to disagree.
please do, please
If
do,
I
please
give you
agree to
my word
disagree.
before marriage that I'm a
Beating the
operate
shit out
X,
of
Y,
this.
Z, and these things gonna be set in place for us, and I don't do them after we get married, that's manipulation in my book.
Oh my
Me
god.
personally.
I
Everybody
mean,
else don't see that
Sweeney,
as
what does
manipulation.
manipulation mean to you? Because you,
Manipulation means
not you. I want to know what does
I would say,
manipulation
I would
mean?
say, I would say, personally to me, manipulation would be if you tell somebody something to get a desired result and then renege on it the moment you get the result that you want. I don't believe that he was lying to her to get her to marry him, to get her to do what she wanted him to do. And then one day he just switched up and was like, all right, now I'm no longer doing that shit for you. I do believe that he may have genuinely thought that they were going to be able to work on certain things, the joint account. I believe that when they talked about the joint accounts and all of that, I think once they decided what they were going to do financially with the money, it was really on the back burner. Even though to her it may have been, she may have still felt like I still want that joint account. They were able to move okay without it. They assigned each other's jobs or whatever they needed to do, so she was able to move and be okay without it. The same way where it was no longer an issue for him. I think, but once you started seeing things that popped up like him being hands off with the home, and that part of him came out of him. And he was like, I don't know why didn't want to be involved in the process. Could be a number of things.
Well,
He may have
I
really, he
think
may have,
I think Bo mentioned
oh,
that she didn't
Jesus
want to be
Christ.
part of it, bro. Yeah, you're gonna get interrupted. Yeah, I've been going about
No,
this shit for
I'm
like
trying to,
fucking
because
20 minutes.
that's
God
not,
damn
I'm not talking about how she felt. I'm saying if I don't know why he may not have want to be a part of the process. Maybe he really
And
wanted his
that's what I was talking about, Sweeney. I
So,
was telling
so
you
let's
because
right.
I
So
remember her mentioning that he didn't want to get the house. So that's why he would
Well,
protest it.
he didn't like it was never like this definite no, let's not, because if he said no, I don't want to do that right now. Okay, cool, let's have a conversation. Why not? It was never this definitive I don't want to. It was very mm,
it
you
was
know what I'm
Yeah,
do
saying?
you?
It was just
He
like
had he
nothing.
had a
he
do
was
you attitude.
reluctant.
No, he had a I don't. He didn't want to be involved in the process. And if I'm thinking from his perspective, right? If I'm thinking from his perspective, they had a house that they was going to get a steal on. He drug his feet on it. They couldn't get the house that they couldn't get the condo that he was supposed to get a steal on. He probably wasn't really in the mind. He probably didn't really feel like going house shopping. He didn't want to be a part of that process. So he was more
Hmm.
like every time she came to him was like, "Babe, I'm about to go do this." He was like, all right, you coming with me? No, I'm good. And then
Hmm.
when she bought the house and she pulled the trigger, and now they going to unlock the door. Now you're looking in there like, how much we paying on this house? How much is this? How many bedrooms is it? Did we really have to get those floors? Are you sure this is the only? And this was after she pulled the trigger on it. That's what I'm thinking happened, is that he was very nonchalant about the house because he probably wasn't really interested in buying a house. He didn't really care. But because they had to leave, because grandfather said they gotta go, she was the one that was trying to involve him in the process, and he was very aloof about it until she pulled the trigger. And now you got an opinion. And I can understand any woman that will be pissed off about that.
So 3 things. He wasn't assertive. He wasn't a man of his word. He was indecisive. Those are the 3 key things I got from him. Aside from things I mentioned about you. So I already held you account, or I already pulled out the things that you did wrong. I was just looking into the information you were saying, and I discovered he wasn't a man. Being a man of your word, man, is one of the most important things I harp on. I don't care. Like, you have to be a man of your word. There's no way you can be trusted if you can't keep your word.
Did you have to buy the house with your own money, or was it both of y'all money?
Oh, no. So it was, I guess it was sort of mine. It was out of my inheritance. So my grandfather gave it to me.
And he really had the audacity.
Like free and clear.
That's somebody, that's hard. It's hard to
all
deal
the
with
things.
somebody that like that. If I gotta use first, you giving me the green light to go buy it, and then you don't even pay for it, and then you got the audacity to bitch at me because I bought it with my own inheritance.
Well, why wouldn't she? It'd be damn near foolish not to. That's a windfall.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying it's hard to deal with somebody who's gonna push back on you when they didn't give you no energy on helping you with the process.
That's why. Like, she would have been pissed off if he did. If she bought the house with his money, and he came in and gave a pushback. Because why would you sit there and let me do all of this by myself and then shit on it after I'm done? Anybody would be pissed off about that.
But the thing that broke everything was because of the house, right? Everything involving the house. And because it's very, and I might have an easier time now, but a man coming into a situation with me, I've always been an extremely well taken care of person. My grandfather made sure I got everything. And so men have always been intimidated by the fact that my grandfather got every car I ever owned, this house, like if I needed it, my business, everything, if I needed it, that man was right there. Check in hand, how much you need.
He
And so
never
men
provided
get
a house
very
for you ever.
intimidated by a woman who has been well taken care of by her father or father figure. And so he was very like, oh, I can't do all of that. I'm not asking you to do all of that, right? Men think that they have to meet that standard. That man made a lot of money in his lifetime. You cannot. You're not going to. Not hardly. The average man is not going to touch the amount of money that my grandfather was giving me. So men felt intimidated. And he always used to throw that in my face. Well, I can't do all of that. And you want me? I don't want you to do none of that. I want you to work
That's why
with me so that we can
That's
figure
why he
this
was
out
hands off about
together.
the house.
And
That's why he was hands off about the house. It's because it was your money.
Yep. So
Man, Trev, didn't you catch that cue in the beginning when she said my money? Both of our eyes lit up. My
and it's
eyes lit
not
up immediately.
and so here's the thing. I don't ever want you all to get it messed up that I ever throw anything in anyone's face. I never be like, this mine. It's I did this. I do that now because I'm sitting in it by myself. If I am with a man, there's absolutely no way. It is unrealistic to think that the average man, because I married him knowing how much money he made. It's unrealistic to think that an average man can do the things that my grandfather did for me. So there's absolutely zero way that I'm going to make a man feel like you have to do that for me. It's unrealistic. I would never expect that.
So this is what I do want you to understand, Bo. And I wish I would have talked to y'all before y'all actually got y'all divorced, because I don't think y'all necessarily needed a divorce over this. If I was able to tell you, and actually I think you already understand this now, that the reason why he may have been so aloof from the process was because it wasn't his money in the process, that maybe he didn't want to participate in how you move with your money, especially
I
your
can see
money
that.
from your grandfather.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I told you, like, and I could kind of see why he didn't want to be a part of the process. But could you see why at maybe the end result, when he actually started to see the reality of where he was going to live and all that, how he may have been like, well, all right, let me ask you a question. What was his issue with the house?
So it's more than anything. He didn't want it to be in the part of town that it was in. He wanted to be in a completely different part of town. And then I don't think that there was necessarily a particular problem, but so much that he was complaining that he didn't have any input in it. But he had opportunity for input. But I don't know, and that was the frustration. What would you have liked for me to do? Because the only option that I had was to just not buy the house.
You know what you could have done?
He was put up in a tough spot because it makes sense to buy the house, but the fact that he couldn't be a part of it was just.
Both of us were in a very tough position in that. So, like, in hindsight, I see it from both sides. That's why I'm not like, we're good.
He was your bitch the whole time, basically.
That's how
We
he
played.
felt. I don't make people feel like that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, every man looking on the outside would have thought he was that. And
No, they
then,
wouldn't.
not on top of that, the moment you told me that you made your submission conditional, I mean, when you took that, I became unsubmissive and uncooperative, and I don't like I would have told him to run for the hills.
But that wasn't what happened though, bro. That was after everything hit the fan. But before that, she gave him the opportunity to be involved. Now, my question would be, how exactly did you illustrate that to him? Because there's a way that you can say, you can put the ball in his court and be like, hey, look, I really want, can you, you know what I mean? Where you ask him to make decisions for you. And then there's I'm telling you where we're going type of mentality.
I don't tell nobody nothing. So the same way I want people to consult with me and talk to me about the process of whatever we're doing. That is the same thing that I do for other people. I am not like, I get it. You all hear me speak and you all think that I'm this like super aggressive, assertive person. I'm truly, with my partner, I'm talking it over with you. I need your input. I want to know how you feel about this, because I cannot make a decision if you don't feel good about it.
Ma'am, you were the
The
man
same way
in
I
the
want
relationship.
you, huh?
You were masculine in this situation.
I was not.
You were buying houses. You were very masculine. You had a lot of masculinity with you.
I don't have any masculinity. What I have is drive, and I
What do you think
initiate. I do the things. I'm a self-starter. If things need to be done, I just do it. That is not masculine.
That is a
That is the
man.
trait of a person who is grown and is just taking care of business.
A feminine woman is reserved. She's not driving.
What did you expect her to do?
What did I expect her to do?
Yeah, what did
I
you expect her to
expected her
do?
to maintain her character.
What does that
throughout the
look
marriage.
like? What does that look like in a situation? Now, let me paint the picture for you. They can't stay there anymore. The house is about to go. He's selling the house. They got to move. He gave her the windfall to buy a new house. He said, here's your inheritance. Go buy a house. What did you expect her to do?
Consult with her husband. And what did he say?
He did that.
What she did.
He told you to go buy the house, right?
He told
What
her,
did I-
go
He
do
didn't.
you.
He just was like,
I would have never told. I would have
me.
never went and bought that house. I would have told you not to go buy that house. If he's
So
doing
that's
all
okay.
this and reluctant and shit, no. You make him get off his ass. You let him get off his ass and be a damn man and go do that shit. You shouldn't be out here running the streets looking for a damn house. That's a very masculine thing to do. That is not your
that is
As
a
a
very
man who's supposed to be a
irresponsible thing.
religious man, a He wasn't even living.
Well,
living
if she couldn't
That's
get him to do that,
irresponsible.
if she couldn't get him to do that, then at that point, what should she have to do, Dar?
That's woefully
She's supposed to
irresponsible.
relax in
on
her
a-
femininity and wait.
It's
Right, but they don't have
so
a place
I'm
to go
supposed to
to.
be
So what
They
is
don't
she
have a
homeless
place
in
to
my
live.
femininity.
It does
Oh,
not matter. It
this
does
is
not
a
matter.
nice tent.
He's
This is
supposed to.
nice.
She's supposed to
Oh, that's
I
not
relax.
got
real
some
life,
blankets
bro.
to
That's
put
Yeah, you're
on
not
not real
this
listening to
life.
what I'm
tent.
saying.
What we
He's
doing is
supposed to
leaking
act.
up there in the
He's
tent
supposed
on
to.
the
If
street.
you wait long enough, he'll activate. You
That's
didn't
not
wait.
that's not how life works.
That is
You
not
didn't
how life
ask me how
works.
life works. You
I'm
asked me
telling
what
you,
was
in
she.
real life, that would have been
You
bad
didn't
for
ask
her.
me that. You asked me what was she supposed to do, and I told you what she's supposed to do. He's supposed to activate and become assertive. He's supposed to grow some balls and go out there and do what the hell he's supposed to do.
And while his
If you would
balls
have
is
came to me,
growing,
I
I'm
would have
supposed to
told
be
you not to do
homeless.
none of that shit.
And
So
then
I would
while
have
his
told you.
balls
you
is
know
I
what?
would have
growing
told you to wait in your femininity.
And if they wound up on the
and be
streets,
homeless.
And if they wind up